Hey everybody, welcome to Smashing Game Time. We are two brothers that go through gaming's back catalog of yesteryear. I am your host, Nick, and I'm joined by my brother Josh and the sleepy Ollie.
Yes. Hi, everybody. I've got a sleepy puppy on my shoulder right now if you are watching this on YouTube. If not, I'm sorry. You're missing out on cuteness.
If you've ever needed a reason to check us out on YouTube, we finally got cute dogs. We've had dogs on here before, but not cute dogs.
Not as cute as this little girl. She's literally got me wrapped around her little paws.
And for those who need to know, all of Josh's passwords are the dog's name and his favorite number.
Actually, that's somewhat close to it, yeah.
Oh no, I think I just gave everyone your passwords.
No, you didn't, I promise. It's a little more complicated than that. But that's a pretty good guess.
It's Ollie69XOXO exclamation point. There it is. I guessed the password. Hell yeah. Look at me. I'm cracking the passwords.
And I'm changing all of them.
He's changing all of them right now once that puppy wakes up.
They've been compromised.
So, hey, we're doing another tier episode today. The Castlevania one didn't pop off as much as the Metroid one. I guess there are more Metroid fans than there are Castlevania fans. Who knew? Who knew?
Actually, honestly, it's a tough call at that point.
Yeah, because Metroid, the whole reason Metroid's number 3 for Nintendo, but really I think it's even further down the list, is it doesn't have nearly as many fans as we think.
Well, I also think it's because they've relied so heavily on Mario and so heavily on Link that it's why you have two poster children. Why do you need anything more? And plus, literally think about it. Mario literally does every single thing. The only thing he hasn't done is, I mean, at this point, they're like a South Park or a Simpsons. They've already done it.
The argument is, if you've already got Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, well, what else do you need? You don't need anyone else to be a baller. You just need a few things here and there. You need an Animal Crossing to play the 3. You need a Pikmin to play the 4. You need Metroid to come off the bench and give you some solid minutes every 10 years.
And now that I think about it, if we're going to dive deeper into it, when they had the big 3, when Metroid was actually in the big 3, Samus was their tough, action-y girl. They've kind of turned Zelda into that tough action girl. And same with Peach. Peach is starting to get that treatment now with some of her stuff.
The strong princess types.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are they not good enough for Nintendo's castle? We're going to have to ship it over to Disney?
No, they're fine.
Be that princess?
We say all this to say we're doing another tier list. It's for Metroidvania. So any Metroidvania that isn't a Metroid or a Castlevania that we've played, that we're aware of, we're doing. I don't care if there's one on there that shouldn't be on there. I don't care if there's one on there, not one on there that you think that should be on there. We're doing what we've got. So it was
a lot harder than you think, Nick. I actually had to go through our Steam libraries, and at one point, I actually had to comb through the top 200 games to see what you owned and what you wanted. And that was a tough deal.
You could have just clicked Metroidvania tag on.
I did that.
Okay, just making sure.
Literally, so when I did it, it only I can compare our game list, but it's only showing me games that we both own. As far as if I own it and you own it, it'll show it. Otherwise, if only one of us owns it, it won't. Then I was like, fuck. So then actually I had to go in, search up the tag, and then I actually had to comb through and see what games that you owned.
And you know what? In the research I did today, there's not that many Metroidvanias out there when you compare it to other genres.
So I think in the sense of you're right, I also think that people mislabel Metroidvanias. And we'll see that in this list, actually, because there is one on there that actually there was 2 I came across. One I put on there, one I didn't, because I'm like, I personally can sit down and say, for one of them, yeah, that's not a Metroidvania. However, the one that is on there can be argued that it is a Metroidvania. Yes, she's being so cute. Sorry, guys. She's distracting us.
She is super cute. But we'll get to all that. We're also going to go through some of the games we've been playing, some of the news. We're heading into Key 3 here in the next week, and it's looking to be a boring one, so we'll see how that goes. Before we do all that, Smashing Game Time. You can find us anywhere you get your podcasts: Apple, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts, YouTube Proper, where you can see this wonderful pup that just yawned a minute ago.
So cute, I know.
It's such a cute pup. Hey, fuck the algorithm, tell a friend. That's right, we don't fuck with that algorithm. Word of mouth is king here. I'm so glad I'm doing this all now because I had to add it in post last time, and that gets tricky. I'm looking for the cleanest recording of this episode, so she's yawning again. God damn it.
Yeah.
God damn it. But yeah, hey, fuck the algorithm. Word of mouth is king here. Josh. Oh yeah, we have a website, Smashing Game Time. I got an article going up later this week about Firewatch. I actually wrote an article. I'm just sitting down. I'm going to sit down and edit it either tonight or tomorrow, and that'll be out. So finally, I've got words on the website for the first time since March.
And I'm actually working on something, Nick. I'll have it to you by the end of the week.
He's fucking. I'll believe it when I see it.
That's fair. That's
Believe
fair.
it when I see it. God
I
damn.
can't argue with that, but I promise you, I'm working on something.
And then Godiso is coming up. Josh, let's make a decision right now. Do we want to release Godiso the week of? All right, so we're going to do it in July. Do we want to release it the week of July 1st or the week of July 8th? Only reason I ask that is because July 4th is a Thursday, so it could really go on either week.
I'm asking. Just because I have a feeling the 4th is going to be a little chaotic right now.
So then what we'll do is we'll record late June, get it done. How many categories?
16.
All right, we'll do 16 categories for Godiso. My God, that's so many categories.
I don't remember how many we did last time.
If we do 3 an episode.
How many episodes did we do last time?
We only did 4. If we do 3 an episode, that's 12. If we only do the 4 like we did last time. If you want a full week of episodes.
You know what? Just for the fans, let's do 13. Let's add Baker's dozen in there.
Okay, so then what we'll do, we'll have 13. We'll have 4 episodes of 3. And then the last one will be Godiso.
Fair.
Boom. So we got to make up our 13 categories. We're going to do that off air. Best song is going to be there, of course, and so is best box art so far.
And Godiso, of course.
And Godiso
has to be on there.
So there's 3 right there. Look at that. We're giving this stuff up.
Left.
Look at us go. Look at us go. Josh, did you watch the State of Play last week, by the way?
I only caught glimpses of it.
So I had it going on my phone while I was driving, and I wasn't watching it. I just had like the audio go, like I was doing it for the audio. And we'll get to our games that we're playing in a minute, but and we don't really talk about this in the news, but it's the most underwhelming State of Play I've ever watched.
I think this week, or actually today, as we're recording this alone, the biggest announcement had come out, and that was they're finally releasing the adapter for the PSVR 2 in August.
Oh,
so you can play it on the PC.
For PC. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't even think. Did they announce that in that? I didn't think that was in the show.
No, that got announced today.
Oh man,
that's why I said it got. It's more exciting after the fact that it got announced today. It's like, why would you just announce it last week? You had doing the State of Play. It made no sense.
You had 2 PSVR games in the show. You could have done those 2 trailers and then be like, oh, and one more thing for those PSVR fans, all 3 of you.
I mean, I was just like, I sat there and was like, I understand, like, if it was like a month away, I'll even give it 2 weeks, but literally, not even a week.
And then the biggest game, like, it's all the games are very niche, like very anime, action RPG. Monster Hunter was in there for those sickos. I don't fuck with Monster Hunter. But then for your big game to be Astrobot, like Astrobot, people love that first game. But then for that to be your big game, man.
How did you feel about that? Did you see the trailer for Until Dawn remakes?
I did. They did the slow. They did the stereotypical slow version of a song.
It looks awful.
Well, those games are like they go for that cheesy, like they're cheesy B movie aesthetic. I feel like.
Well, but like the original was like decent enough. Like I remember playing it and
it's the same. It's the same game, Josh.
I know. But I'm saying like graphical wise, did you see like the comparison?
No, but you know what? Like it's like we've reached peak remastering where like the remasters are like I just remember Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch. That's just how I picture every remaster now. And that's not a remaster, but just every remaster is just like the bare bones, like we made this look really smooth. The eyeballs are bulging out.
We had AI come in and just touch up everything. It looks great. Hey. No, every time I think of a remake or like a remaster or anything like that, where it's just like they basically do like touch ups, I think of the Ezio collection or the Ezio trilogy. Remember how buggy and bad that was?
I forgot they did a whole collection, right? But like their victory lap before the game came out, before the third one.
Do you know what really blew my mind as I was doing research for consoles?
What's that?
I didn't realize that they released it on Xbox 360 and PS3.
Yeah, it was that.
It was about the time. It's about the time that I was just like, I just didn't put 2 and 2 together because I'm like, It
because
seemed like it was late in its life then.
that was when Assassin's Creed was every year because they had them jumping between the two studios, 2 or 3, and so 2 came out 2008, and but I
I think it was
remember the
Origins
gap.
then,
I
right?
remember the gap between 1 and 2 feeling like forever, but really it was only a year.
Yeah, it was in between Origins and Odyssey. I
Yeah,
only know that because I have both on me.
2 came out 2008. Um, one after 2 came out in 2009, 2010, and then I guess 2011 was 3. Maybe I don't fully
It
recall.
sounds about right, close to it.
Yeah, man, Assassin's Creed sloppy. They're very sloppy. Did you see they're getting Assassin's Creed characters and rabbits are getting added to X Defiant?
No, oh, I know, I did see that. I did see that.
I I have no comments. Like, what are you doing?
It's Ubisoft at this point. The fact that people are just giving them money right now just makes me want to shake my head and go, guys, it's bad. Like I always think of the South Park episode when um, Tyler Perry's at the school and Token keeps giving him money and Cartman has to yell at him, "Quit giving him money, Token."
Stop giving Tyler Perry money. Fucking yeah, I don't know why everyone wants their like all-star collection. Like Multiverse is just re-released. By the way, speaking of that, I saw Jake just popped on. And I wrote an article for I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but I wrote an article for Hard Drive about it. And
Did.
the Multiverse's players were not happy with me.
Um, I think it's just funny because I've come across a couple TikTok videos making fun of multiverses and Brawlhalla actually. Uh, and it was like this guy's just sitting, he's like, "Oh man, I can't wait to play multiverses." And then it says 1 week later, "Oh man, that shit's garbage. I'm gonna go back and play Brawlhalla." And then it just kept going back and forth between them, like for different reasons, back and forth. And then at the end of it, advice like, after quitting for the 8th time in a row of Brawlhalla, man, this new season of Brawlhalla is gonna be so good. They're throwing in this shit. And then it did the release of multiverses, and the guy was just like,
The complaint I saw a lot was, "Oh, the site's going for negative clicks now." Oh, and it wasn't even like I didn't even say anything harmful. Joke like it was right after they announced Jason Voorhees and Agent Smith from The Matrix, and the joke was Multiverse's roster now outsizes Multiverse's fan base, or out. Another article I've seen about multiverses is about people being mad, the numbers shrinking, people not being happy with the game now.
I don't think I've seen any, like, since the re-release. I don't think I've seen really anything positive from it.
Mm-mm. Game should have stayed dead, homie.
I mean, it probably never should have became what it is. I mean, look, the only collection of fighter games that work, you mix up two well fighter games, Street Fighter versus Tekken, Marvel versus Capcom. You give us, look at Marvel Capcom versus DC. That shit failed hard. Look
Well,
at the
that's tough
Nickelodeon
because
fighters.
they do a Street Fighter's Tekken, but no matter
Yeah,
like if you mix them like that, you have to pick a style that's closer to one of them. You can't blend the
you
mechanics
can't
from
blend
both of
them.
them.
Yeah, which I think if I remember correctly, I think at that point they went more towards Tekken, and it pissed off the street fighting community.
And it would have been like if they gone Street Fighter way, Tekken would have been pissed.
Right. Where
All
with like Marvel versus Capcom, it's like the perfect. It has its own thing, but it's like the perfect combination of Street Fighter and it being its own thing.
all that to say, I'm pouring one out. Oh, here I'll do it on camera. Pouring one out for my multiverses homies because the game's dead.
What the hell did you just pour that into?
Don't worry about it.
Is your water right there?
Nope. I poured one out for the multiverses homie because game
No
dead.
wonder why you have bugs.
It's water.
Flavored water.
It's not. Hold on. The ingredients are filtered carbonated water and natural flavors. Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. You want ants? This is how you get ants.
You know what? I'll
There's
lay it.
sugar ants.
I'll
There's
lay.
sugar ants right now, Nick. I had a
side. Oh no. Oh no, I've given it all. Given them all of it.
Look at
Most
you.
ants prefer starches during summertime, proteins in the springtime. So they're out for starches. They're out to get fat. Do they bite? No, they don't bite, so you're good there. This is sad. I wanted to get bitten. How to get rid of them? Clean counters frequently, empty trash cans regularly, and store any food ants are attracted to in airtight containers. I'm fine. I'm fucked because I've got
I
kids.
think you got kids, and you just poured that water all over your ground.
I've got
Just in an
towel.
ample area.
You're acting like I don't have a towel.
But you just said you didn't pour it into anything, which means it's the ground.
But also, I'm using my foot to like use friction and heat it up, like heat up
Hey,
the spot.
you're cooking it up for them so they can go, thank you, Daddy Nick. Oh, thank you.
Okay, so we just found out that sugar ants are real. But I digress. Let's get to the games we're playing. I've got a few here. Not anything, like I'm still reviewing a game I can't talk about until middle of the month, so about 2 episodes out, so I'm going to be annoying that way. Started playing the first Hellblade. It's on Game Pass. I didn't realize it was more like God of War than I was going in thinking it was going to be a hack and slash. I was like, oh, this is like, for some reason, I think it released the same time as Nier, and Nier's a hack and slash, right?
Nier is a hack and slash, yeah.
So for some reason, my brain was always like, oh, Nier, Hellblade, hack and slashes. But no, this is a walkie narrative-ass game where the combat is kind of like playing second fiddle to all the story and puzzle stuff, which is fine. I'm enjoying it. I like the, it's a slow cooking game about, I forget what mental illness it's about. It's not schizophrenia, is it?
No, I thought it was.
It's not multiple personality. You have multiple voices in your head, and so the way the game dictates that is like you'll have one voice that kind of serves as the narrator, but it's also kind of a voice in your head. But then you have another one, and to tell that they're different voices, they put the subtitles in different places, which I think is a cool little thing. It is based in, I want to guess it's Nordic myth. It looks very Nordic to me.
Norse mythology and Celtic culture.
Well, they're ripping off God of War. Okay, God of War. Well, no, they did it the same year. Right? Hellblade was 2018 or 2017?
Hellblade was 2017.
Oh, Sony. Listen up, Sony. Copycats.
Oh, it gets better. I don't know if this is right. We're going to have to fact check this. PlayStation 4 and Windows, August 8th, 2017.
Oh no, it was released on everything. This was before Microsoft.
But I thought Xbox One got their first release.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize it was PlayStation 4.
Well, I mean, this was before Xbox or Microsoft owned Ninja Theory. I think they bought them a little after this. If you click Ninja Theory, it'll tell you when they got bought up.
Yeah.
Because Ninja Theory was doing all kinds of shit. They did that DMC like reimagining, right?
Yeah.
Just called DMC.
And they just call her illness psychosis.
Okay. Well, it's
I mean, it's definitely like
it's an exploration
or something.
It's an exploration of mental health through an action adventure game. More adventure than action. Though the fights like feel heavy. It was kind of reminding me of Rise, but a little less like back and forth, like a little less button mashy. You want to parry and you want to stab the enemies. I just beat the first boss, which was like a naked raven who I think was assaulting me. If I'm reading the way they're like portraying it, you don't have to Google that, Josh. But
I mean, I'm on the Wikipedia page now, so because it's been a while. I mean, I played it upon release. I haven't touched it since then.
I'm enjoying it. I'm playing it so I can play the second one once. You goddamn dog.
I know she's cute.
We're just going to call this one the dog episode. If Hank wasn't such a big dog, he could sit on my lap, but he would cover me the whole episode. Hey, Ollie. But I'm gonna finish up Hellblade. It's not a very long game. I do appreciate that about these games. I think this one clocks in at about 6 hours on average, and the second one clocks in at about 8 hours.
Sounds
and I'm
right,
like,
yeah.
That's what we need more of, man. These big showpieces that, you're not like, it's not a part-time job. It's a day gig. Like I'm also playing Killer Klowns from Outer Space. I can actually say that now because I believe it comes out tomorrow. Well, we're recording this on the 3rd, comes out on the 4th. This episode comes out on the 5th. It's a lot. I imagine it's a lot like Dead by Daylight, but team based.
The way I've seen it, it looks like it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Friday the 13th game.
Yeah, it's very much of that ilk. And I've only played so the 4 or 5 games I've played. I haven't been the humans yet. I've only been the clowns. But every time I've played a game, I've had to back out and then come back. And I've only been the clowns. I'm trying to be the humans, so I can't speak to balance because I haven't played the other side. But also, as the clowns, I haven't won. So maybe the humans are overpowered. I don't know.
I don't know. I've seen videos of it going both ways, I haven't seen anything negative per se. It's been more of like, just like, hey, this is the game, and this is how this is how I'm playing, and this is what I'm doing, and it looks like it's a lot of fun actually.
It's goofy. It's fucking goofy, and it's a lot of fun. So basically, as the clowns, you're chasing the humans. You're trying to get them in the cotton candy hives, and then you're trying to hook them up to these machines. And you're trying to fill. There's like five or four machines around the map, and they each have 4 slots. And you got to fill them all up. And the humans regenerate after you kill them. You guys regenerate after they kill you. Humans are just trying to get off the map, and it takes a lot of different pieces. There's a little like AI clown running around that helps out the clowns. I don't think the humans have any AI companions that help them out. I've only played, I want to say, the same map in all 5 matches, so I don't know. I can't speak to the maps either. Again, I'm not reviewing this. This is just something I'm playing on the side for the other side I write for. And no, I'm really enjoying it. I really like the movie. I liked the movie growing up, and I think it's a great classic. And the fact that they made a video game is just bananas to me, and I think that's awesome that they did that. Hopefully it just sticks around longer than Friday the 13th and all those other. That's my biggest concern, is that these games kind of come and go, and then once the license is up, you'll never see it again. Because then a Texas Chainsaw game came out a few years back, right?
No, a few months, like it was last year.
Was that last year? What?
Pretty sure it was end of last year. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
My nose is itching, Josh. I think I'm allergic to your dog, by the way.
Okay, she's cute. I'm not getting rid of her.
And then, so I've got a few more. I'm playing a shit ton of Pepper Grinder with Gus. He's got a set amount of levels that he likes to play, so he'll come home from daycare like, Pepper Grinder. Okay, buddy, let's go. And he'll want to play the very last level. He'll want to play the level before the 3rd boss fight, and then he'll want, in this specific order, by the way. And then he wants to play the last boss fight, and then he wants to go back and play a level on the first map, and then he wants to do another boss fight. And then by that time, I'm usually like, all right, let me pick a map. And so I've done all of the time attacks in that game except for one. And there's one that is broken right now because the time was set for it when the map was smaller. And now that it's bigger, like there's no possible way to make it. And it's like a 2-minute map. And so it eats up a lot of time when you're trying. And I've seen people do it online in its current phase, and the developer said he's going to fix it. So I'm one broken time attack away from 100%ing the game. And please help me, because I'm never going to get it. I've even done the exploits where like you bounce against the wall and it kicks you up. Like I'm doing the speedrunner stuff. You'd be proud of me. And it's still not working.
I feel your pain though.
So if they can just fix that so I can 100% the game, I'm still going to play the shit out of it. Also, I'm playing Spyro, because he likes Spyro. We've been playing Ripto's Rage. We did boot up Year of the Dragon tonight, and I immediately didn't like it.
Yeah, it's my least. I've actually stopped to take a break because it's my least favorite right now.
It's just so... Well, first of all, the tiger is there. I forget his name.
Hunter.
The cheetah. He's a cheetah. I'm sorry. Wrong cat.
Same difference at this point.
Wrong big cat. I'm sorry. And they're just sleeping, and then this lady shows up and steals all the dragon eggs, and then you immediately find a dragon egg like 2 steps from you, and I'm like, how good at stealing these eggs were you, really?
Yeah, like clearly you didn't know what you were doing.
And then something I like about Ripto's Rage, every time you enter a new world, it does a short little cutscene to show you like the central conflict.
And they stopped doing that.
Yep, it's like, what are you doing?
They think that was like the best part, like one of the best parts of Ripto's Rage.
What I do like about this one is how much more wide open the maps feel.
Yes.
Like I could breathe. Like, oh, this isn't a tunnel that is like a little square room that leads into another square room. Like, oh, this is a big map. That being said, the first one I played, I was able to breeze through it in like 2 minutes from beginning to end.
The one thing I also admit that I don't like about it is they brought back the freaking balloon travel to like go through different worlds. But guess what? They don't even have the balloon guy there. He got fired. They laid him off.
Wait, they said that?
No, but I just started. Moneybags is back, so yeah, that mother he bought the balloon company. He said, we can have the furry critters here running. You're fired.
Capitalism, Josh. It's a merger or it's an acquisition, whatever, and then you got to fire the balloon guy because you can't have multiple balloon guys.
We don't need balloon guys when this is a like you basically it's like an Uber for yourself.
I will say I did play Ripto's Rage has my favorite map. It's the volcano one with the cavemen and the dinosaurs.
Yes, that's a good one. That's
And
actually one of the
mini game.
demos too.
Huh?
When all the old demos that you used to get like in the magazine and stuff.
That was a demo one.
That was a demo level, and then the one with the Yetis or the big Yeti.
Yep, I remember
that was
one.
also a demo level.
Now, I remember specifically there's a minigame in the volcano level where you have to stop these dinosaurs from eating the cavemen, and they hatch from their eggs and they chase the cave. And I remember that being hard as hell.
As a kid, but now as an adult, I don't know about you, but as an adult, that was shit. I did it both times, one try.
Exactly, and I was like, oh, I was just a fucking idiot.
I need to look it up to see if that's like one of the changes they made, because a lot of the games that I used to remember going, oh man, I remember this took me so many tries. Like the turtle one try both times. I'm like, why is this so easy?
I haven't done the turtle one yet. I haven't bought the right to use ladders yet from Moneybags.
You better get going.
I want to know how Moneybags never caught on, but Tom Nook did.
Well, I mean, he did. As far as I know, he only made it past the second and third game. After that, at least in my opinion, Spyro kind of went downhill.
Oh wait, yeah. Activision,
especially since the fact that they went into Skylanders.
Activision got the rights, and they became Moneybags. They didn't need Moneybags anymore, so they laid them off. They're like, get out of here.
We don't need two mascots. We've got Tony Hawk.
And then other than that, I've been playing Fortnite. The new season came out. It's a lot of car chaos. Lots and lots of car chaos.
It's Armageddon, right?
Huh?
It's Armageddon, right?
Yeah, a lot of people don't like it. I enjoy it. I think it's better on teams. If you're playing solo, you're going to have a bad time. But essentially, if you're not in a car, you're kind of fucked right now.
Sounds like every game that has... That's not like PUBG back in the day.
Right.
Big hunking metal machine runs you over. Yeah, expect to die.
But that's all I've been playing. Josh, what are you playing?
Yeah, so I've been playing Moonscars. I just killed... So I did the Wanda boss fight.
You're going to have to refresh my memory on who Wanda is.
Wanda is the friend. She used to be like your friend before whatever happened. You turning into clay, basically.
Aren't they all your friends, though, at one point?
Yeah, at one point they are, but she's like your best friend. Like she was like your confidant, basically. But I defeated her, and then I also fought the original. I can't remember her name, the main character's name, but her original self. It's basically the doppelganger that talks to you.
I think I know what you're talking. It's been okay. So Sweet Wanda is like the tree lady, right?
Yes.
Okay, I remember that. It's been almost 2 years, Josh.
I can't believe it's been that long. But yeah, so I did all that, and then I also gave the king all of his limbs and heard all of his stories. So I'm basically now just going through and finishing up collecting all the glands and all the memories before I finally climb the tower, fight myself one more time, and then throne the queen.
Throne the queen or dethrone the queen?
Technically, it's enthrone, isn't it?
Oh, again, Josh, 2 years.
Not dethrone. You're like, I'm putting her on the throne.
You gentlemen.
Yes. So yeah, there's that. I also have been, for some reason, very much in a Call of Duty mood. I don't know why. So I went ahead and picked up the remastered edition of Modern Warfare. I already beat it.
Is it that short?
Yes.
Jeez.
I literally had it for one day. I beat it.
That's crazy. You got this from the library?
No, I got it cheap online.
But are you going to return it?
No.
It's over the 2 hours, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, very still to this day one of the most frustrating veteran game or like hard difficulties I've ever played in my life. Like I can't tell you how many times I died on the Ferris wheel on one shot, one kill. I can't tell you how many times I died getting to said Ferris wheel. And I can't tell you how many times I died trying to do the fucking Mile High Club.
Now, remastered, is that like a full, like it's still the same exact game, right?
Same exact game. All they did was like update the graphics and it looks fantastic. I'll bet for a game that was released in, I think it was like 2016, 2017. Not originally, but the remaster was like 2016, 2017. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
For a game that was released in, Nick, you're going to have to help me out here because I can't think of
Modern Warfare. Do you Call of Duty 4?
Yes.
2007.
2007. So 10-year difference. And right now we're in 2024. So 7-year difference from the remastered release. It actually looks really good.
Can you imagine just buying up Activision right now for Call of Duty? Could you imagine that? All these years later.
I still can't believe people are giving Ubisoft money. So I mean, anything's possible, I guess.
So, hold on. I'm trying to think. So how we've had 20-ish Call of Duties, right?
3 modern warfares, 2 remasters.
We're up to 6 Black Ops.
6 Black Ops. We have
Advanced,
World at War, Advanced,
Infinity.
And then technically we've got the 3 I guess technically remakes of Modern Warfare.
Ghost, Civil War, World War II,
Vanguard.
It's got to be close to 20.
It's got to be. I mean, just with the Modern Warfares alone, just Modern Warfares in general, there's 8.
There's about 7 too many. I like Modern Warfare too. There's about 6 too many. We didn't need the remasters. We didn't need all that. What else you playing?
On my spare time, aka when I'm away from the house and I have my Steam Deck with me, I've been playing Legend of Legaia.
You got to help me set that up because I will play through that. I will actually stream that game.
As long as you're not like Matt and making me want to bash my head in because he can't do something by himself, I will gladly show you and get you going.
We live a few miles apart, dude.
This motherfucker last night, we're going to do a little quick story. This motherfucker last night, he's like, Josh, this is what's going on with my motherboard. My CPU light comes on when I'm playing the PS3 emulator. Can you help me? Sure, let's do some troubleshooting real quick. When's the last time you updated your drivers? I do that once a week. Okay, great. When's the last time you updated the BIOS? What do you mean? When's the last time you updated the BIOS? Like with the drivers, you also have to update the BIOS sometimes for your motherboard.
Could you go into detail about the BIOS part for the people listening that don't know?
Where would you go?
Where would you go to update those BIOS?
You go to your manufacturer website. So, for example, if you have an MSI motherboard, you go to MSI. You type in your motherboard. You go to the drivers and updates, and it will literally tell you what the last update was and give you the option to download it. And then, depending on your manufacturer, there's a way you go into your easy setup in your setup for when you you know how when you start up your computer, sometimes it tells you, or back in the day, you used to do it more. Nowadays, not so much, but it says press delete or do F to go into your BIOS setup.
Mm-hmm.
That you do that, and then you can update it from there.
And I know what I have. Do you know what I have?
Off the top of my head, no. I'll walk you through that too. Yes, I see where you're going to get with this. So yes, I will walk you.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Just don't be as useless as Matt. Matt's just sitting there like, I tell him, I'm like, okay, this is what you need to do. Well, how do I do that? Just Google this. Is it this? So basically, I had to fucking do it all for him. And then I get to the part where I'm like, okay, go to this and do it. It's not letting me. I keep clicking on it. It's doing this. Google it, maybe. I don't have the manual in front of me. I'm sitting here like I spent 3 hours with him last night. And I about
3 hours? No,
3 hours. And you ready for this? We never fixed that fucking CPU light. And you know why?
It's still broken.
No. I totally forgot he did this. And I'm like, I wanted to backhand him so fucking hard for this. So a couple months back, he upgraded his CPU fan. He went from a standard grates and fan like you have right now to a water cooled radiator. So basically, water runs through this radiator, through all the way through, cools it off, and then comes through and feeds it into the CPU, and then just repeats.
Yeah.
So when he took his old stuff off, he still had the old thermal paste on there. God knows how old that was. At that point, I assumed it was probably dried and needed to be replaced anyway. This motherfucker just puts everything on top of it and says, "Oh, it'll be fine."
I'm sure other people have made this mistake.
This is a tier below the people who decide they're going to go ahead and install that same thing, that same concept. But when they come, usually there's like a little piece of plastic on the bottom that says remove before installing. All in nice red brick letters. They leave it on and they still throw it on there. It is this, Nick. As somebody who works in IT, accept what I'm saying and deal with it because I know what I'm talking about and I've seen it and it pisses me off.
So Legend of Legaia.
Legend of Legaia, yes. I'm basically just fucking around in the castle, just trying to grind my levels up right now.
The Sky Castle or the?
Oh no, the first castle. A castle.
Like the first mist generator.
No, not that castle. The castle where you go to get the fire flame technique right before you turn into Noah, who's in the cave.
Oh, okay. You're still very, very early in the game.
So yeah, I'm think I'm like level 10 right now or 12. Like I was grinding there for hot seconds. I know once I get to the first boss, he's gonna kick my ass.
That opening area of the game is a slog.
It is. I think really once you get past the first mist generator, I think it really picks up on the story.
I think it picks up. What's the tower with like the lizard sucking on the tree?
That's the next area. That's what's the name of that place?
I think it picks up after that lizard fight. I think it really starts to pick because you head underground and there's that whole bit with those 3 babies that are like psychic.
The babies of prophets, yeah. That's gonna bother me now
because that whole second area, like you're like, oh, it's just gonna be I'm gonna go area to area, and then you eventually like you get to the underground part and you learn you can't help them right away. Fuck, like shit. Okay, now this is more complicated.
I also like when you fight the
triplets.
The triplets. That's a good fight. And then I also like fighting was it Gajo?
Is that the blade guy? No, the blade guy doesn't come until the fun tower in the third area.
No, it's the other master from the Baron Monastery who steals the Rashiru.
I thought that was Songi.
Songi, thank you.
How the fuck are you playing the game when I know these names?
Because I'm not very far and it's been a hot minute since I played it.
Dude, I haven't played it since before I had my driver's license. What are you talking about?
Is it the Succubus Islands, maybe?
No, the place is like...
That's the area. I don't know.
Is it like the Soul Tower? Like, because there's a tower in that area and there's a tower in the third area where there's the floating castle. Man, that game's a fucking classic. Now you got me wanting to play it.
Octum.
Sounds right. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it's Octum.
Anything standing out?
Because it's like all cave at the beginning, and then you climb up like the tower slowly, and at the very top it has like the vines and stuff, and you see the tree sucked on. Yeah, that's Octum.
Yeah, that thing was creepy. That was a challenging fight too.
Oh, that's like that. Yeah, that's like the next most challenging fight next to the first boss fight. Because I still think the Zon the
bull?
First.
You're talking about the bull?
No, the crab.
See, I don't remember.
He's the guy who like does the teleporting. When you like the very beginning, they attack the city. He teleports in, and he's like, "Stupid humans."
I'd have to see a picture of him, but I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it.
Yes, we will get that going for you, Nick. We'll get you started, and you can stream that live.
Okay. I forgot to mention I'm playing Soma and Iron Harvest, but those are going fine. Just join. Hey, I stream on Tuesday nights now, folks. Go check those out. Anything else, Josh?
No, actually, that's about it.
Okay. Slow week. He said 40 minutes into the episode. Hey, what do you say we do some news?
Let's do it.
Read all about it. Latest football scores. Morning paper. Morning Star. Paper, mister?
It's time for old news.
All right, starting off, rumor Days Gone Studios' next game has a huge budget. It's a Game Rant article written by Viraj Bhatnagar.
Yeah,
I
that's right.
apologize for butchering that name if I did.
No, I think you got it. That was a really good reading. I knew you posted this, and I knew you had a boner as soon as you posted it.
Yes, because for everybody who are fellow listeners of this, they know I love Days Gone. They also know that I think Ben Studios is a fantastic studio. So the fact that Sony basically just came out and said, "Yeah, we're going to invest a shit ton of money into your next game," makes me very excited. I know it's not going to be a sequel to Days. I'm okay with that. I can live. But the fact that they developed, yes, was it shaky coming out the gate? Yes, but at this point, let's be honest. Every single game you have bought in the past 5 years, no matter what it was, single player, multiplayer, co-op, couch, whatever, it was shaky coming out the gates. Gaming has changed significantly in the modern age.
You know, I could see what's the Xbox zombie game?
Um, State of Decay.
I could see if they were gonna do Days Gone, but make like a State of Decay.
I'd be okay with that too.
That'd
But
be something
I also,
cool.
but I would want to see. I actually liked the World War Z game. Like I thought that the zombie mechanic was actually fantastic in that. I would love to see that utilized, but maybe better storytelling, gameplay.
So I would be a little worried. So here it says they're investing $250 million in Ben Studios' new IP. Ben Studios' new game may be a live service. So this seems like this is the website editorializing, building upon the open world systems of Days Gone. So that's fine. But I hear like we hear live service, and you hear that it's attached to Sony, and you're like, yikes.
I mean, at this point, if I hear live service one more time, I'm just gonna immediately assume it was the Suicide Squad and just not even touch it.
I'm gonna pistol whip the next motherfucker that says live service title. Oh, he said it. He said it.
And yeah, he said it. I get it. This is all speculation. Yeah, of course they're gonna. I mean, let's face it. In the gaming developing world, if you even utter the words live service, all the executive just get a hard on, like just goosebumps down their backs, and they're just like, "Oh, take me."
They're like, how are you implementing AI?
That's when they whisper in their ears something like that, like the cosmetics will be AI generated.
We're looking for a way to implement a season pass that they'll pay for.
Multiple season passes? Oh.
Hey, EA execs, this game is play to win. You start doing like your pitch for the game is the whisper song. I'm gonna whisper in your ear. I'm gonna tell you about this live service title.
I just think this is like a Lonely Island verse for Jizz in My Pants.
You know, we've already had an ASMR episode, Josh. We can't do this again.
I know. All in all, we'll see what comes from this. I mean, I'm just happy that, a studio that actually shows really good story development is getting a chance. I just hope that they don't blow it.
We're getting rid of the single player.
Moving on, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater reportedly delayed to 2025.
I believe this. They've been very hush about it. Like,
yeah, I mean, it went dark after like the initial the showing of I can't remember the name of the trailer, what they called it, but it was like they were showing off like a bunch of the items and the scene, the backgrounds, the environments.
Oh, this is sorry. By the way, this is a gamer article from Rhiannon
yes.
Bevan. Rhiannon Bevan.
Thank you.
Fucking up the names. Yeah, I would think if this was something that was coming, that this would have been in that state of play, that sad, sorry state of play last week.
I wonder if it initially was going to be. Because this is not the only thing that got pushed back too. Wasn't there another game that got delayed too recently?
Yeah, a bunch, Josh. No, so
oh shit.
The thing about this is I thought this was already out because I guess the Metal Gear collection came out recently for Steam.
Mm-hmm.
And so part of me was like, oh, Delta's out.
No, they're milking in the money from the... I don't even think it's a remaster at this point. I You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they just ported it over or if it was actually a remaster, because I've been wanting to get it, but I'm not willing to drop $60 on, or sorry, $70 on two games that I currently already have, and the rest of them I mean, they're all the old NES ones. I could not care less, but whatever.
Yeah, so it looks like this is just a rumor from Deal Labs from an unnamed distributor who has started listing a release date. So we still don't know. We still don't know. This could be out this year. This could be out next year. Who knows? David Hayter, again, I guess I don't know if he's back in the studio re-recording for Delta. Wait, is he? Yeah, because he's been doing promo for it. I've seen videos on Twitter, I believe. I like David. He wrote way more movies than you would think.
I just love his voice.
D. Colonel, what are the Russians doing? Say, I can't do it. I wish I could do it.
I'm not even gonna attempt that Angel's voice.
If I heard it on a loop for like a week, maybe I could do something. What else you got, Josh?
Moving on. This is kind of just like a tip of the hat one. Naughty Dog will not be the Last of Us studio forever, as it works on multiple single-player projects, Neil Druckmann says. This is an IGN article written by Ryan Dinsdale.
Of the Dinsdale Dimmadome.
Yes. So basically, when Druckmann was doing an interview with Los Angeles Times, basically just kind of threw out there like, hey, we're not going to be this. And I know this is going to like hurt like all of the purists out there who think that The Last of Us needs to stay with them and they just need to keep making it gold. Like, eventually, guys, they're going to make up a slip up, or Sony's not going to be happy with what's bringing in. They're going to send it off to somebody else, or they're going to branch off and do something else. Like, whether it be, what if they do like a State of Decay for it, like scenario? They're going to piss people off.
So I think this is overall is a weird thing to say, because in the history of any studio, I don't think any studio has ever had to come out and be like, oh, no, we're not just this, we're not just that, we're not just Naughty Dog's never had to come out and be like, we're not just the Crash Bandicoot, or we're not just the Jack and Daxter, or we don't just do Uncharted at this place. No, like it's a really weird time when you have to come out and say, oh, no, we're doing other stuff, guys. I promise.
It's just weird, though, because it seems like after Uncharted, it just kind of seems like that's what all anybody ever talks about with Naughty Dog is The Last of Us. Like, it's hard to see them as doing anything else other than that, because all, like, no one else is clamoring for another Uncharted, no one's clamoring for another Crash Bandicoot, or you know what I mean, like no one's clamoring towards these things.
Well, that's because it didn't take. So when was Last of Us 2? 2020. Last of Us 1 was 2013. Well, the proper PS3 release was 2013. Yes. And then it was 2 years for every Uncharted. So it's never taken this long for games to come out. So when you have this long of a release window, like, yes, people are going to be like, what else are you doing? Like, Last of Us 2 had a team dedicated to the whistles of one of the factions. They had a team that just worked on the whistles. They basically created a whole language based on these whistles that this faction was using to hunt you down in the game. And we wonder why these AAA games are bloated.
So, but then that begs the question then, though, is, so I'm going to go on both ends of the spectrum. On the lower side of the spectrum, look at Call of Duties. They can pump one. So one studio can pump one every other year at this point, right?
No, they have a three studio cycle now.
Oh, that's right, 3 studios. Sorry. So every 3 years they can pump one out.
Naughty Dog, as far as I know, not everyone on Naughty Dog is working on the same thing.
Even though it says as it works on multiple single player projects. Listen. They may have someone working on something else, but that is like you're talking about they have a skeleton crew maybe working on the smaller details building up to it, but they have the bulk of the company working on one project.
Everyone worth their salt, and I don't mean to use that in a derogatory way, but they're going all in on part 3 because it was a hit on HBO. So they're going to have all the eyeballs coming off of season 2, so they need to have something going by the time season 2 comes out, so they can be like, oh, hey, if you like this, we have the 3rd game coming.
It's going to be the same thing with Fallout 2 as well. I mean, not Fallout 2, the game, but Fallout as well.
I think the Microsoft thing on Sunday that's coming, I think we're going to see like a Fallout 3 re-release, or they're going to have, we haven't seen, besides the Vowed, like maybe Obsidian has a Skeleton Crew, or maybe they have another studio doing a re-release on New Vegas. Who knows?
I could see a remaster of 3 or New Vegas, or if not both. I also see possibly a remake of the first or second one. I know it doesn't have as many followings as 3 or Vegas, but I just see it happening. Like they're gonna want something that's gonna be able to cash in quickly while they're working on something, because we all know the Elder Scrolls fans are at war right now. They want Elder Scrolls 6. They want it now. They've waited so long. They've bought every single release of Skyrim on every fucking console out there.
I just think they want something to show. Like they want something to show right away, and the easiest thing to show is a remaster of something more recent.
And if I had to guess, it's probably going to be Vegas, because 3 was huge with all the DLC.
That's the craziest thing, because like we're saying, these are the most recent things, but these games are almost 20 years old. 3 in New Vegas.
The next closest one is 4, and let's face it, 4 is not the best.
4 just got a massive update.
And 4 just got a massive update. So yeah.
I think it'll be 3. 3 just runs like shit everywhere, and they're like, oh, we need to slap some paint on this motherfucker. Let's go. And then they'll continue to support 76 because it's got good legs right now.
Yeah, as everybody's still nuking what's his camp.
We were supposed to play that for April. Look at us.
We never touched. I touched it once.
We did the tutorial, and we were like, and we're out.
I got out, and then you said, "Oh, Mothman returns," and I said, "Yeah, I'm not going back in that game."
I love Mothman.
I saw the videos, and I was like, "Holy shit, that motherfucker's scary."
The setting of 76 seems intriguing. Like, oh, you're putting me in West Virginia, which is already a shithole. All right. And you're playing around with all that West Virginian lore. You're playing around with the Appalachian and all that lore, like all that mythos. Like, yeah, let's go.
To watch that black figure with red eyes fucking stare at you like daggers, that motherfucker scared the shit out of me watching that video. I said, no, fuck this.
I might have to watch another one of those. I might have to watch another one of those. What you got? What else? We got one more, right?
We got one more, yes. This is a Kotaku article written by John Walker. Baldur's Gate 3 will be officially moddable this fall. That's right. Every sex scene that you want to see happen officially can happen.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I want to fuck every dwarf in the first act of that game.
I want to watch my character plow through the whole city. Just watch the hips.
Dwarf gangbangs.
If you roll a nat 20, you're set, baby.
Dwarf gangbangs. My favorite thing in that game, and of course it's very early, when you stumble upon the 2 ogres fucking in a shed. Or it's not an ogre, it's I forget what the other creature's called, but it's banging an ogre. And they don't like that you've interrupted, so it immediately triggers a fight, and it's pretty fucking hard.
I just like the fact you can fuck a bear.
It's pretty hot.
Fucked by a bear.
It's pretty hot. But can he instead of him being a bear, could he warg into a squirrel?
So what you're saying is you want some Wonder Twin powers action in this bitch.
God damn it, I forgot about the Wonder Twins. But no, that's cool. It seems like the physical editions of the games are going out. Matt Fresh, who guest appeared on this show previously, sent us some photos of his magnificent 4-disc Xbox Series version of the game. 4-disc, man, what a time.
A lot of disc.
But yeah, so that'll be out in September. I can't wait to see what these fucking sickos come up with.
I'm not gonna lie, I guarantee you within the first hour of official release, there's gonna be a lot of nudity. A lot
of porn.
I guarantee you Pornhub will be filled with just nothing but sex scenes.
No.
Of these characters. Yeah.
No. Man fucks bear.
Bear fucks man.
Bear fucks man right back.
Man, who would you rather fight, man or bear? Why not both?
Why not? Bear 3-way. It's happening in September. Keep an eye on it. Josh, thanks for pulling the news. Do you have a meme for us?
Meme time.
Oh, I sure do.
Right, I don't like the way you said that.
So it starts with. Actually, no, Nick. I want you to do this one because you came up with this bad boy. I liked your premise better.
It was your idea, but you know,
I came up with the bones. You gave it structure there. You gave it paint.
I gave you feedback, and the feedback led to this wonderful. So, for anyone who's played Metal Gear 3, there's the sniper who is like 100 years old called The End, and over him, representing him, is the story Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, reportedly delayed to 2025. And then in the middle panel is the Xbox system configuration, where I'm sorry, PS4. Sorry,
PS2.
Is it PS2?
It's PS2's configuration.
Oh, fuck me. I fucked up the meme. The
Jesus.
PS2 time configuration where someone has changed the clock and the date to 2025. Going down to the last panel, the end kills over because you've set the time. So for those who don't know, in this boss fight, if you either didn't touch the game for a week after saving the game during the fight, or if you just fucked with your time, this boss would die automatically. So that Josh had this wonderful idea for the meme. I just helped him bring it to life. That's all. Great meme, Josh.
Thank you. Well, like I said, I gave it a structure, but you gave it the flesh.
I gave it the color. All right. Hey, we're doing our last tier list for the for the foreseeable future. We're tiering Metroidvanias that we have played. No Metroid, no Castlevania, because we already did those games. So if you want to see where those games go watch those tier lists, you sick fucks. But without further
Not
ado,
in this house.
where what?
Not in this house. No more.
No more. So the games that we are tiering tonight are After Image, Axiom Verge, Batman Arkham Asylum, Blasphemous, Bloodstained, Carry On, Dead Cells, 9 Years of Shadows, Elderon, Guacamelee, Frontier Hunter, Hollow Knight, Infernax, Ori and the Blind Forest, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Shadow Complex. This is Strider, Ultros, and Moonscars. Makes me think of Space Jam every time. And yeah, just Space Jam. And the Scooby-Doo movie,
Yes.
where Madame Moonscar, or the pirate's name is one of them. I think her name's Madame Moonscar. Anyway, where do we want to start?
With Axiom Verge, because that was like hot off the press of like true Metroidvania style, like original like NES. Sega.
So I haven't played Axiom Verge. Josh, give us the skinny on Axiom Verge and where we're putting it.
Okay, so the way I put it is it is very much a fight, die, repeat. Essentially, you are a scientist who wakes up in a foreign world. He's lost his memory. Hint, hint, wink, wink. And as you're exploring this world, you're discovering who you are and what happened, what led you to where you're at now. You find this machine basically that is your save system, but it basically just takes a hold of your DNA. And basically, when you die, you're revived or you're cloned back into that spot with all the memories you had previously. It's really interesting. Like I said, it's definitely got the NES Metroid feeling to it. It's that 16-bit, almost 32-bit style. Weapon upgrades are pretty cool. Enemies are really like, it kind of reminds me of the Carrion enemy, or not enemies, but how how you start in Carrion, how you're like this little blob basically. They kind of start like that and they eventually get bigger and more machine. Like, it's really cool.
Where are you putting Axiom Verge?
I would put it in the C. Yeah, I would put it in the C range. There are some moments where it falls.
What knocks it?
Very difficult game. It's not as smooth or as easy to maneuver in, and you do die a lot. It has more of like that Souls vibe, and sometimes the bosses are just like forgettable. Like the only boss that like stuck out to me is that boss you see on the cover.
So you.
I'd C range. Yeah, it's very forgettable. I haven't touched the second one. I heard it's better, but I'll let you know how that goes when we come across that.
Let's place 9 Years of Shadow.
place it, Nick. Where do you think it should go?
So 9 Years of Shadow, very much a Metroidvania. The world, the way it was sold to me via the Steam page was, it's a world robbed of color, and you're going into a castle to bring the color back to the world. And you immediately bring the color back to the world within the first 10 minutes of the game. Yeah, I was annoyed by that. The boss fights in it are fine. I don't really remember a lot about them. The powers are fine. I didn't like the bear. I thought the bear was very anime and didn't fit the rest of the game. I remember like I sold it to you as Sailor Moon. And there are some moments that are very Sailor Moony, but the bear is just so dumb. And then like the twist of the bear is the boy and all this stuff. Sorry for the spoilers. I don't fucking care. Man, and the game crashed. I wanted to like this game so much more, but it crashed all the fucking time. That said, I still 100%ed this bitch because I hate myself. I would put this in the D range.
Okay.
Because it wasn't enough to keep me from 100%ing it. Where are we going next, Josh?
Let's touch on Infernax. This is that one I was trying to remember the other day when we talked about when we were talking about our reviews that we did. Mm-hmm. I said this is the one. There was one on there that I got a lot of views on. It was this one.
I've played like the opening. I think the farthest I've gotten in Infernax is you go into a shed and there's like an enemy that like transports like between you, both sides, and you kind of have to just like maneuver, just outmaneuver him. And I like it. It feels 16-bit. The movement is like not sluggish but slower. Your character's a sprite. And the boss is like, you come up and there's a guy dying on the road, and then he transforms into this humongous bipod monster that is just blood and skull and bones and stuff. And it's just got that Castlevania vibe.
It's very much a Simon's Quest, a Castlevania 2 for sure. It reminds me of that, and it also reminds me, it's that same feeling of Legend of Zelda 2. Mm-hmm. That 2D, or it starts out, you're on the map, you move around, but then it goes 2D and when you go over places. Very much reminds me of those. And what's very cool about it is your abilities that you use in the game, or as far as like for your fighting, is also what you use to traverse the world. So eventually you get the power to call in storms, which shoots a lightning bolt down. You need that to basically spread the sea to get to the next dungeon. So cool.
And if I remember correctly, the music bops.
The music, and then I think they actually had a couple updates after the fact where they now have multiple characters now that you can play between. You don't have just that one character.
I want to jump back into it so bad.
I'm going to. It's the next game on my list for. It jumped over 9 Years of Shadow because I saw that and I was like, I need to go back and play it because it was a lot of fun. Plus, there's multiple endings. You can get the good ending where you work with the church and you free. Or you become the next badass motherfucker villain.
I think this goes in the A range.
Oh, definitely. Honestly, I want to see more from them because it was so good, so memorable.
Next, let's do Guacamelee. So Guacamelee, I think the studio behind Guacamelee is Juicebox, who just so happens to be the same team that did one of my favorite games, Nobody Saves the World, which is a fun little top-down beat 'em up. Kind of, you have all these different forms. Guacamelee is not that. Guacamelee is lucha libre.
Luchadors
is luchadors.
Luchadoras.
It takes place during. I believe it takes place during Day of the Dead.
It does, yes.
And are you trying to revive your fiance? It's easily been 10 years since I played Guacamelee. But I
can't remember if it's this one or if it's the second one. But I think one of them does involve you revive your fiance.
The game is a fucking banger. I don't remember a lot about it. It's been 10 years, but I ate that game like a goddamn queso dip.
Do you know what the problem though is? After you mentioned, for those not aware, Nick texted me before the show and was like, "Hey, you forgot to add Guacamelee." And I was like, "How the fuck did I forget that?" I had the Mucha Lucha song stuck in my fucking head all day. Mucha Lucha.
It's the way of life.
Yeah, that's been stuck in my head all day.
I forgot they did a sequel also. They also did a sequel. I haven't played the sequel.
I haven't either.
It's a very colorful game, very colorful world. I wish I just remembered some of the boss fights, which makes me think they didn't stand out too much if I'm not remembering them. Because I mean, you have games that you don't play for years and years and years, and you're still.
Didn't
Oh, I remember fighting Kraid.
they? This was originally released on Xbox, right? Or did it come out on both consoles initially?
I think it was 360. Original release was 2014.
So I think it was Xbox then. I want to say they marketed it as an arcade game.
I think this is a solid B game. Like this feels
Oh,
like
yeah.
a B game. Like
I remember playing it and enjoying it. Like you said, though, it's been so long. It's definitely a game we need to go back and relive because it was honestly at the time really good.
maybe we'll make it a book club game.
I'm okay with that.
I think I have it on something. I need to go back and look. I have it somewhere.
I think I have it on the Xbox.
I wonder if that transfers over to PC. I'll have to check that out.
You have to look.
Let's do Moonscars since it's so fresh in our brains. I think this game teeters closer to a Souls-like than it does a Metroidvania.
It does, and I would even say the premise is a good idea. I just think there's parts of it where like I feel like it's very I feel very let down because I'm almost lost now of like everything that's gone because I've like traversed completely backwards from where apparently I was supposed to go.
What does that classic Metroidvania thing where it's like it doesn't really hold your hand? It's just like, oh, you're on your own, you fuck. Figure it
No,
out.
it'll hold your hand. It'll give you a couple things, and then it'll teach you how to do like the super dash. That's about it. There's nothing else really there. Like I didn't know you could skip walls until like halfway through. And I was like, I can jump off these walls. That's awesome. Why wasn't that thrown at me?
I do think the bosses again. I didn't remember Wanda, but I do think the bosses are very rememberable in the game. I like the art style. I think it's very moody. I did like the thing where you have to fight yourself with the mirrors, even though they've backed away from it. I don't know. I don't like
the Blood Moon.
the Blood Moon's cool. I don't like and the Blood Moon makes the game more difficult for those who don't know. It activates at like weird times.
And you can either calm it by giving it glands, bone glands,
something like that.
and then
And again, I don't like the central hub where this is where you get to talk to all the people and find all the lore. I don't give a shit.
not only that, but it's every time I go, it's like my assumption is okay. The only time anything's going to change is when I go through one of the portals that or one of the mirrors that are going to force me to fight my doppelganger, which is fine. But then it's rather than giving me specific things to do, I literally have to go talk to everybody because nothing's like pointing out like, hey, we have different dialogue or we have new items or you can actually go into this area now.
And this is a challenging game.
I think I've died more to random stuff or random guys than I've actually to bosses. Like I think I've only died to one boss.
Anytime I'm thinking about playing Moonscars, it just makes me want to play The Last Faith, which I don't have, but I'm like, because The Last Faith just looks like a better Moonscars.
Yeah, it's definitely on my want list.
I would put Moonscars either at a C or a D.
I'm okay with it being at D. I think if they had just touched up on a few things, maybe held our hands, like even at least given us the pinky of their hand, I would have been like, okay, yeah. But the fact that they just kind of like, they basically they adopt us. They brought us all these toys, a puppy. They cracked the window, they locked the doors, and they said, "We got if you want it, you gotta want it. Open the door." And the fact that we don't want it because we can't open the door, they just drive off.
All right, I'm gonna let you go off. There are two here that I know you've played. Either do you want to do Eldoran or After Image?
Actually, let's do Frontier Hunter, Elza's Fortune.
All right, the horny one.
The horny one. So, Nick, when you see this, what does this make you think? First off,
Well, she's dressed like Samus.
Besides
Zero Suit
that.
Samus.
Besides that,
It's very anime.
okay. So, your traditional like JRPG, like think of you've seen stuff for Persona 5, right?
Here and there, I try not to engage with the Persona stuff.
Okay. So do you know how they have like the high school girls dressed up as like really slutty people sometimes?
Yeah, that's their persona. If I'm
Exactly
guessing correctly.
Sort of, yes. Just that's basically that, but in Castlevania style, and it's very weird because not only you're a hunter, and your hunters are basically mercenaries that will do tasks. And the beginning of the game, you find out that you're going to this planet you're basically going to explore it, or it's not like you're a planet, it's more like an area. You're going to explore it to see what's available, but anybody they sent to explore has lost contact with them because it's almost like Metroid Prime 2, where they go to the planet they lose connection with the outside world, and they're stranded.
Is it a good game?
No. I mean, it has its moments. It does have its moments where it's fun. Very repetitive. And a lot of it is there's no English dialogue. It's all in Japanese. I'm pretty sure Japanese. Is Japanese or Korean? I'm gonna be bitch stats for sure on that one. I can't remember. So you have to like the follow-on story. You're gonna have to read what the captions are saying and stuff, which is fine. It's like in segments rather than just being able to play through and go to these areas. You're doing it in. So like you'll do the first mission, like get to the cockpit. Okay, well, to get to the cockpit, you have to go all the way down. You have to find somebody. You have to save her, and then she tells you, "Oh, you need to go this way," and then you go this way, and then they tell you, "Oh, you need to go back to your room and grab this item to be able to do this." And it's like, okay, it's very, very segmented, and not in like a, "Hey, here's your objective." It's just, "Hey, you just finished mission 1-1. Now you're on 1-2."
Doesn't feel very Metroidvania to me, Josh.
It does. Well, that's not the only weird one on here, but it is Metroidvania, and I would give it a D, maybe even an F at that point, because it does start to fall flat. I'm gonna give it F.
All right. Let me run down the list so far. So on the tier list so far, we have Infernax at an A, Guacamelee at a B, Axiom Verge at a C, 9 Years of Shadow and Moonscars at a D, and then Frontier Hunter at an F. And then remaining, we have Afterimage, Batman Arkham Asylum, Blasphemous, Bloodstained, Carry On, Dead Cells, Eldoran, Hollow Knight, Ori and the Blind Forest, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, Shadow Complex, Strider, and Ultros. I'll do Ultros real quick. This is a game I reviewed earlier this year. It's got a blend. It's got the Metroidvania side of it, but it's also got the Souls-like of it, where it's like rogue, not Souls-like, but it's more rogue. And I think that's a common issue you start to see in modern day Metroidvania, is that they want to dabble more on the rogue side. And I know which one you keep hinting at. We'll get to it eventually. But what Ultros does is you're on a ship and you're trying to bring the life back to it. And you have to defeat these bosses, and they give you their powers, but it doesn't give your character the powers. It gives your little buddy that you use to navigate the ship the powers. And then after you defeat a boss, the world explodes and it resets back to where you were without the powers. And you have to go and get them back. But you don't have to fight the same boss over again. And it's fun. There's not a lot of... It's not really focused on combat because everything is like sword based. The abilities you get are like, oh, you can cut through weeds, or oh, you can like double jump or triple jump off of this thing. And the thing I really like that it does, there's about near the end of the game, you come upon this thing called the living network, and you're essentially connecting every piece of the ship together. And like, if you go to your mini map, it shows where you've brought the living network. Like it's a glowing line that shows like, oh, you've connected this tree to this tree to this computer to this. And it's a really cool thing where like and you can also plant plants around. And so you're starting to plant your plants based on what you need to be able to transfer. Because when you're going from tree to tree, you only have so much before your connection to the living network breaks off. And this part of the game it was giving me, what's the Kojima game? Death Stranding. It kind of giving me Death Stranding vibes where you're connecting every part of the ship. I really liked that part of it. The issue was that part of it came so late and you're losing your powers over and over again because the game is leaning into the rogue side of it instead of leaning into the Metroidvania side of it, because the ship is interesting and the things it's trying to say are interesting. It's just, it doesn't agree with it it agrees with it on a gameplay standing, but it just doesn't really communicate that right away, and that's something that really bugged me when I was playing through it. That being said, I think it's a game that takes a risk and it doesn't really land everything, but it lands some things, and I'd put it in the C range.
Fair.
Oh, that was a lot. Well,
let's give you a little bit of a breather here, Nick, so you can catch your breath. I'll go and talk about Afterimage.
There's another anime. I'm seeing a trend with you in your anime games, Josh.
So it's not so much anime, though. This is more of like a distinguished art style.
Sounds like you're saying anime without saying anime.
Anyway, so um, it's interesting. It's definitely it does have the Metroidvania feeling to it. Like obviously we put it on this list, but they tend to lean more towards the story and more towards the once again a Souls like. And this is where once again I have to throw out there. I think people start to confuse what a Metroidvania and what a Souls like and a roguelike are because they all start blending in with each other at this point. And it's like, okay, guys, if you are a 2D platformer that requires you to backtrack a little bit and have some abilities, that is not all that a Metroidvania is. Yes, is it the bare bones structure of it? Yes. But that's where I start to get mad because for some reason, developers decide to mix in either roguelike or Souls-like. And they think this is what everybody wants. You see it with After Image, you see it with Blasphemous, you see it with Hollow Knight. I mean, all other games, you start to see it more and more. And it's like, is this all that Metroidvanias are to you? Is just the basic, you need these abilities to be able to traverse to these different areas. And that's my big problem with After Image. The enemies are decent. They have a parry ability where you can parry them. It's interesting. It reminds me more of the Samus Returns remake, remaster remake. So it has some things like picks up from all these other games, but all in all, I think fails. And once again, it's one of those stories where it's hard to follow because I don't know what's going on. I'm probably halfway through it and I don't understand anything that's going on. I understand more of Moonscars than I do of After Image. And I think I'm going to throw it in the F.
Man, this man does not like he doesn't like the genre. He doesn't like the genre.
It's not that I don't like him. It's just, I don't know if it's because I'm dumb or if I have to have like, how you got mad at me the other time for making memes that are too wordy. Are they using too many words? And I'm just like, no, gameplay now. Be dumb. Be caveman.
As a man of art, less is more. No, less is more, Josh. I think that's a rule that you can apply to anything where less is more. I'm gonna
hold on. Pause real quick.
Yep.
Andy's here. I'm gonna pass her off.
Yep.
Give me 1 second. Okay. Yep. Okay.
I'm gonna hit start recording. All right. So next, let's do Carry On. How much of Carry On have you played?
I think I got maybe a quarter of the way through it before I stopped. Something was going on when I got it, and I stopped playing it to play something else.
So I think this was the heat of COVID when I played it, but I didn't beat it. But I know it was super close because I had gotten like 5 flashbacks at this point, and I was like, "Oh, we've got to be close." For those who don't know, Carry On is it's a Metroidvania from the viewpoint of a monster. The monster of the Thing. You're the Thing. You're in a space. You're in a space like colony, like factory, like fucking up work. This little blob monster, so the really cool thing about this one is you get all these different powers, and they're all traced back to like different bumpers. But then you can dump off parts of your body and revert back to your old powers. It's really fucking cool in that aspect of it. And you're eating people. Your people are trying to fight back, and you're like trying to be sneaky and like using tentacles to like grab them and just like beat the shit out of them. It's really cool. It's a really cool game. I'd say it's
a really short game too, isn't it?
Huh?
Fairly short too, isn't it?
Fairly short. You're basically just trying to get off. You're trying to get out. I think you're in the lab, and you're like,
you basically break out, and you start. If I remember correctly, you start in the sewers. And you start with the rats.
I would imagine that the guys who made Carry On saw how Inside ended, and they're like, "No, we just want to play that game. We just want to be the whole. We want to be the blobby thing the whole time.
Let's do that." Yeah.
The only thing, and it makes sense from a story standpoint to not have a mini map. You don't have a mini map. So you're getting lost. You're kind of, but again, that's kind of the Metroidvania way, where it's like, no, you gotta find out your own way, friend. I think that's the only thing that really dings it. I still would put this at an A because it is such a unique standpoint. It's fun as hell to just be a monster, and you can take control of guys and have them shoot their buddy. Like, it's so cool.
Speaking of shooting your buddies, Nick, Shadow Complex.
Oh man, this is from Chair, the same folks that did Infinity Blade, if I remember correctly.
Pretty sure you're correct on that.
So this is you play Nathan Drake. It's basically Nathan Drake.
It's basically Nathan Drake. It's Nathan Drake before he was cool.
You and your girlfriend go into the woods to go exploring. You end up in a secret military base. Just so happens to be the same one from Carry On. No. This was a Summer of Arcade game. If you got close enough to enemies, you could like quick time event them with like a single button push.
You had a gun.
Huh?
You had a gun.
He had multiple guns.
And I think the only thing that's truly memorable, the only two things truly memorable with this game is the suit, when you finally get it, and the helicopter.
It almost plays like a superhero origin story.
Oh, yeah.
And so the boss fights aren't really memorable because it's like military guys in like suits and different vehicles. The map's not very memorable because it's all just like different parts of a military base. It's a fun game to play. It gets tedious towards the end. I would probably put this in the C range.
I would too. I think the only redeeming factor for me though is literally one of the very first trophies achievements you can get. You can literally just leave your girlfriend.
It's probably what he should have done, because by the end you're like, oh yeah, I probably should have just left.
I mean, it just cracks me up that they thought through that much. Like, hey, if you get back to your car, you can basically just leave. You don't have to find your girlfriend. She's gone. It's okay.
Did they ever? I wonder if they announced a sequel or not. I don't remember. I don't care enough to.
I don't think they did. I wouldn't mind just to see, but I'm not like completely hurt either. I think it's fun to go back and reminisce on, but I'm not like, oh, we need a number 2 or a remake. No, it's fine where it is, guys. It served a good job for being a Metroidvania on the Xbox 360. One of the only, besides Guacamelee.
All right, Josh, lead us through Strider.
Ooh, Strider. All right. So, Nick, what's missing in a Metroidvania in your opinion?
What's missing in most Metroidvanias?
Yes.
Just an interesting story.
What if I told you this doesn't have that? But instead, it has really cool action mechanics.
I'd say it's still missing a really awesome story.
The story is okay. Basically, you're going back for revenge. You're a ninja named Strider, or a Strider, going back for revenge. You're going to kill your old master. It is Kill Bill meets Metroidvania.
Okay. I'm sold. I'm already sold.
And it's basically set in what appears to be a really, really futuristic Russia.
Wait, this is just Atomic Hearts, Josh. This is just Atomic Hearts.
But you're a ninja, and you get really cool moves, and you can swipe really fast. Like, it kind of reminds, it's like Mega Man 0 meets Metroidvania.
Where does Strider go in your mind?
It's a C.
It's a
nothing.
C game?
It's a C game. It's nothing too memorable, but at the same time, they have some kind of different mechanics. Like, there's an area you can get into where basically you're in a prison, but it's like an arena prison where you go in and you fight these different enemies and you progress to the next area. It's really cool, really different. And then your traveling mechanic's pretty cool too. You can actually summon a like a laser bird basically to fucking carry you. That's right, a laser bird to fucking carry you. So metal, so 80s.
I do like laser birds. Let's do Blasphemous next.
Yes, Blasphemous.
Blasphemous is a how the kids say, a fucking vibe.
Yes. Very,
very symbolic.
Bathe in the blood of your enemies as you put on your helmet.
Just very. Is it based around Catholicism?
Pretty sure it's Catholicism.
I'm not a religious man, but there's a lot of imagery. Your guy's basically in like an iron helmet.
You're basically a crusader.
And there's blood everywhere. There's suffering. There's pain.
And you're a nobody, basically. Like, when you die, you're replaced by somebody who basically wears the same exact thing as you. Wearing a cloth tunic, and you have a fucking metal helmet. Like I said, once again, you bathe in the blood of your enemies. The very first scene after you beat the boss, or before you fight the boss, is literally you see them grab the helmet, put it on, and blood just falls out of it.
Nasty.
Really fucking good boss fights, though.
Great boss fight. I've only fought the first 2 or 3, but I remember having a good time. There aren't power ups, right? It's just kind of you stumble into the area as you get there. It's more Souls like in that
It's a little
aspect.
more Souls like. You do get abilities, or some abilities eventually. Like I think you end up eventually getting a double jump, or you're able to jump higher. Like it just increases your jump height a little bit. Like you're able, it gives you like little boost to make things easier because there's some spots you can't get into.
Mm-hmm.
But to be able to unlock those, you have to get certain things. Like there's torches that you have to be able to light up, and you need a certain item to do it to enter these areas. You're able to use the skip jump, which allows you to almost like Hollow Knight, where you're able to swing down on something and gives you a little bit of a boost to keep going.
It's a good. It plays great. There's so much to it. It's not a true Metroidvania.
It's not. It's once again, this is where, like I said, it starts to bleed in.
It's muddy.
It gets very much. You have to like, is it roguelike? Is it Souls like? And this definitely leads towards Souls like.
I would probably put it in the A category. It's still a solid fucking game.
Oh yeah, and it makes me want to play the second one.
Yeah, I haven't played the second one yet, but I've only heard good things. Let's do. I'll do Prince of Persia next. Have you played this yet?
I have not. I've only watched you play it.
So the Two Crowns is side-scrolling Prince of Persia. Came out earlier this year. Another Metroid. I've been apparently reviewing a lot of Metroidvanias this year. So what this game does really well, the areas all feel very different. The boss fights are great. I remember the Cobra fight. Like that took me so long to beat because he was a big old pain in the ass. And now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember if I saved the game after I beat him. Oh no.
Oops.
I don't remember. The map does this thing where you know how like Metroid Dread would like mark for you where stuff
Where
is.
you're supposed to go. Yep.
This one you can mark it, but then you can also take a picture of where you're at, so you can scroll over it and be like, "Oh shit, that's where this thing was that I couldn't get." The other thing this one's really good about is you get the powers, but you don't necessarily know how they're going to help you navigate an area. And the exploration's very willy-nilly. There are 2 game modes, so if like you just want to run through it and have like the most efficient path, you can turn that on. If you want to get lost and just find your way on your own and guess and just kind of stumble onto stuff as you explore, you can do that too. That's what I did. And oh man, like there are like random puzzles that don't give you real except for like a cosmetic, which is just the stupidest, most fun thing, like completing a hard ass puzzle and then getting like a pair of pants or something. I think this is an S tier game.
Yeah.
I think it belongs up there. It's
I
man.
mean, I watched you play and I won it. Am I gonna drop $60 on it? No. Or $70? No. I'm sorry, guys. I'm cheap.
Only thing going against it if you're on PC is that you have to play it on Uplay. It's moving down to F. No. Okay. Let's recap real quick. We've got 6 more games to tier. Let's recap. In the S tier, we've got Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. In the A tier, we've got Infernax, Carry On, and Blasphemous. In the B tier, we've got Guacamelee. In C, we've got Axiom Verge, Ultros, Shadow Complex, and Strider. In the D tier, we've got 9 Years of Shadow and Moonscars. And then in the F tier, we've got Frontier Hunter and After Image. F apparently stands for anime.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Bloodstained probably doesn't fit into that, but Bloodstained, where's that one going?
So I think it's S tier.
All right, make your arguments.
Okay, so Nick, in the Castlevania series, you've played Symphony of the Night, right?
Yeah.
Rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, just really quick, because I forget what you put it on the scale.
I'm not like a Castlevania like mainline, like
yeah,
not a castle whore, but I'd probably give it an 8 or a 9.
Okay, so just think that, but also think. Okay, so how can I put this? I want to put this very gently because it's so good. There is nothing I don't like about this game. It has everything. It has very cool environments. Like literally, you start off on a ship heading towards this island, and you're being swarmed by sea monsters.
So this is God of War. You're getting games mixed up again, Josh.
I know I am. But hear me out, Nick. You basically fight a kraken on the front of the ship. You fight it, and then you get beached on this island, and then you go through a village where you fight wolves and zombies, and then you get thrown into the castle, and the castle is so fucking gorgeous. The moon, the background. This game is very beautiful. Like this is This is what makes Metroidvanias so good. It's just the environment. It's just it's so gorgeous. I mean, I'm losing my words just thinking about it. I'm literally thinking there's one area midway up the castle where you're going through the outside, and they literally have the red bloodstained moon in the background, and you're seeing how eerie it is in the background, how it's giving the environment this red tint, and it just looks so good.
That lady has a mouth where her parts should be.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm watching a stream of it, and it's very colorful. Looks like this game is now co-op, by the way. Oh man, yeah, it looks very vibrant. A lot of contrast between the background and the character. Movement looks kind of weird. Kind of feels like almost ragdoll-y.
I threw it in there as it's definitely very reminiscent of Symphony of the Night, how Alucard played. It's just a little looser.
No, it looks good. I'm looking at an image right now of that blood moon you were just talking about, and it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, it looks great. I mean, it's got the traditional. You can have two different weapons, one on the main button X or Y, whatever controller you're playing on, or square. I mean, and then you have your secondary weapon. You have a monster ability that allows you to do offensive attacks. You have the one that allows you to do supportive things, and then you have one that is just a stat booster, basically. You've got items you can carry, gold that you can go to shops to upgrade your weapons, to get weapons that are based off of hinted at based off of different games. All in all, it's fantastic. Plus, they released a game mode where you can play as one of your technically like a frenemy. It's a whole different game where you just play as him. It's kind of like the playing as Richard in Symphony of the Night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot. It's a love letter to Symphony of the Night, and they do a great job at it. And this is coming right off of Curse of the Moon, which was their love letter to Castlevania 3.
One, it looks very much like a Castlevania. They've got the health up top and its own little thing.
Oh, got their own magic bar.
Are these the
money?
Same? No, it's 505. Never mind. I hate when I click on the developer and it gives me the publisher. Hate it every time. Hate it every fucking time. No, but if you think it's S tier, I mean, it looks a little anime. So I mean, if it doesn't belong in F with the other anime, I mean, I agree with you. So it's going in the S tier. Do Eldorin.
All right, this is another one I reviewed.
We've been reviewing a lot of
Metroidvanias, I know.
This year alone.
Oh, this was last year, I think. Was it last year or the year before?
It was late.
I think it was last year.
Late last year, probably.
It's kind of just a big blur at this point. Eldoran. So, essentially, you play as a mercenary.
Who knew?
There, you heard me right. And you're sent to this island. And essentially, you're just sent to explore it and find out its secrets and free its people. You start off in like this cavern, work your way up through the forest, head up into a castle, fight a fight a what do they call them?
Harpy?
Harpy, yeah, I guess a harpy technically. I mean, this is not like the most memorable game by any means. You definitely have to find your abilities, like a dash, double jump, and all that to be able to explore certain parts. You do get different weapons from heavy to short swords. There's a hammer, stuff like that. They do have like a portal system for when you get into the bigger parts of the map. Bosses are somewhat memorable. There's one that's basically like a floating head that does different abilities. You got the harpy. There's I believe it's a giant scorpion that shoots out poison.
I remember this game. I remember not vibing with the way the art looks. Your guy's a little stubby guy, and everyone else is kind of stubby. And I've never felt that, except if it's like Rayman. Everyone else can't be stubby, but Rayman can be stubby.
And they allow you to create your character, and by that I mean they let you change your. Excuse me, I'm gonna get out here. They allow you to change like skin tone to like 4 or 5 different options. You can change like your top shirt to a different color option, and then your like pants, and that's about it.
So they don't give you a lot of options on the customization.
I mean, right, and there's not, and beyond that, there's really not much of a story. There's a bunch of lore that they will give you to read, but really, all in all, it's just very much a Metroidvania. Go to this area, collect this item, go to the next area.
I'm not playing this game to read, damn it.
No, it's decent enough. I think it's a D game. It does fall on some spots. I think it's just I call it a cheap imitation to a Metroidvania.
So Eldoran is going into the D. All right, we've got 4 left. Let's do Batman.
Yes. So I know what you're thinking, Josh. Why the fuck is Batman Arkham Asylum on here?
This is a Metroidvania. This is a Metroidvania.
So I never thought of it as a Metroidvania until I saw first off, someone tagged it on Steam as a Metroidvania. I'm like, what?
Dude, it is. It is.
And Reddit changed my mind. They actually gave me an in-depth analysis of why it is a Metroidvania, and I went, holy shit, it's a Metroidvania.
Because you can't access some areas throughout
until you unlock certain things.
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen until later in the game.
How did you not know this?
I didn't. But Nick, to me, somebody who's been playing it since the late 90s, a Metroidvania is 2D.
Josh, what if I told you? Could I convince you that the early Resident Evil games are Metroidvanias?
Shut your fucking mouth.
Could I convince?
God damn it!
They're kind of so I think that what people bump on is that people are like, well, the abilities. But what Resident Evil does is, yeah, you can't access certain areas without keys, but in that process, you're getting these weapons that are making you more of a tank against these enemies.
I mean, wouldn't that just be Resident Evils in general? Because that's essentially what, except for 4, maybe that is essentially what's going on in every single one.
Yeah, 7 and 8 are the same way. Josh, I'm sorry I blew your mind.
I just never thought of it that way. To me, a Metroidvania is strictly 2D. Like, I don't even consider Lords of the Shadow or the Lamps of Innocence, or where the fuck the other one for the PS2 is called. I don't consider the N64 Castlevania. Heck, I don't even consider Metroid Prime a Metroidvania.
But Josh, that is.
But I just don't consider it, because to me, a Metroidvania is strictly a 2D platform game.
Your mind is broken. So Batman, I think the thing that Arkham Asylum has again, the combat in those games has never felt great to me.
I mean, I think it's definitely aged poorly. Like, when it first came out, it was very revolutionary. Like, we'd never seen a superhero game like it.
We've never seen a good Batman game, is what you're saying. That wasn't a 2D beat 'em up.
Well, I mean, other than that one that we had for the GameCube, sure.
Those were bad. No, that one on the GameCube was bad, Josh.
I enjoyed it. You shut your fucking mouth.
All right,
anyway.
Josh, I think this Batman game is perfectly.
Well, hold on. The Adventures of Batman and Robin for the Super Nintendo.
I said the 2D beat 'em ups. That's a 2D beat 'em up.
Whatever. Anyway, besides the point.
Put your listening ears on.
Shut your mouth. Anyway, you're disrespecting Batman right now. I cannot. So I think we have gotten so it hasn't aged properly, because basically every single superhero game like it, Spider-Man is basically doing the same thing. They cut me out here because I'm going really dumb with all the games now all of a sudden.
No, I think when you look at those games, it's Spider-Man, it's Batman. It's probably going to be that Wolverine game when it comes out eventually.
Yeah.
So I just never liked the beat 'em up aspect of those games. I think the beat 'em up aspect keeps it from being an S, and I think this is an A game. Rebuttal?
I think it's an A game.
Okay.
And it's great. I mean, literally, I think its true saving grace is the story. The story is fantastic.
The Riddler is what the Riddler clues.
The
riddles. I'm here for the riddles. Riddle me this, riddle me that. Where are you going to put Batman Arkham Asylum? It's an A. It's an A, Mr. Riddler.
It's an A.
We got 3 left: Dead Cells, Hollow Knight, and Ori and the Blind Forest. I think Ori's going to be the less combative one, so let's do Ori.
This really cute game.
It's a cute game. I think if I played it again as a dad, it would make me cry, because there's a lot of I don't know, like the big guy dies, and like you are roaming around after your little parent dies, and the owl is chasing after you. But I think if I remember correctly, the owl's only a bad guy because the forest is dying and it thinks you're part of the problem. And the music. Oh my god, this probably has the best music on this list. Boss fights, there's 3 of them. What I didn't like about these Ori games are the chase sequences. So after you beat a boss, you have to escape an area before you die. Not really my cup of coffee.
Very much a Metroid thing right there.
Yeah,
escape sequences.
But I didn't gel with those either.
But see, I still think nothing will ever top Super Metroid's escape sequence.
No, Super
There's just
Metroid is
something
really
about
good. Because you're screw jumping the whole way out. That's all you're doing.
Screw jumping, speed running, and you're shooting your laser, your rainbow laser through everything.
That's all you're doing. I would probably put Ori.
I think Ori's a B. It definitely deserves a spot up there. Like I said, it keeps the Metroidvania alive throughout the 360. Because at least at that point, Nintendo really wasn't releasing too much in a Metroidvania area. Neither was like Castlevania really. Like you had maybe a few hits on the Game Boy Advance and a few hits on.
It was a dry spell for the genre. I'd say this is more of an A game. This feels more like an A game.
I'm okay with that. I mean, it's still up there.
Like, and again, I don't have a problem with with there being escapes in the genre, but they did multiple of them.
It's like, one is fine, maybe even two.
You greedy motherfuckers. And all this to say, neither of us have played Will of the Wisp, but I'm pretty sure Will of the Wisp would be higher.
Probably, yeah.
All right, and then number 2, let's recap real quick. So in the S tier, we have Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown and Bloodstained. In A, we have Infernex, Carrion, Blasphemous, Batman: Arkham Asylum, and Ori and the Blind Forest. In B, we have Guacamelee. In C, we have Axiom Verge, Ultros, Shadow Complex, and Strider. In D, we have 9 Years of Shadow, Moonscars, and Eldoran. And then in F, we have Frontier, Hunter, and After Image. What do you want to do next, Josh?
Do you want to do Dead Cells?
Let's
save Dead Cells. Let's save Dead Cells for last because of the DLC that they have. Let's do Hollow Knight.
All right, Hollow Knight. This is not a Castlevania. This is not a Metroidvania.
It does have some stuff in their neck.
It's
very much a Souls-like. It's a very of all the games on this list, this is definitely one of the hardest.
It's a hard game. It's a Souls ass motherfucking game. It's fucking.
The puzzles are a little really in some spots really difficult. Like I keep thinking of the Dark Abyss area where it's like all spikes and then you have the things going through the tunnels.
It's also a very not hold your hand at all and tell you where to go game.
It's also a very dark game, not just in the sense of color and theme, just in general, a very dark game. Bugs killing other bugs, basically. Like some deep ass shit.
Just Mortys killing other Mortys. Another day on the job. I mean, I think the only thing going against Hollow Knight is the fact that I hate it. And the fact that Silk Song is out, and those folks hate it just as much for Silk Song not being out. It's a great game. It's very I think it's one of those games that it's crossed the zeitgeist where if you saw Hollow Knight, you know Hollow Knight.
It's definitely more memorable of them.
If they're adding people to Smash 5 years from now, my guess would be that is his name Hollow Knight? Is the little bug guy named Hollow Knight?
He technically doesn't have a name, but that's what everybody references to him as. But they want the girl, the Silk Song girl. I can't think of her name.
They would both be in Smash.
Yes,
it's that popular now that they would both be in Smash. It's S tier, right? A tier.
B or A. I mean, I'm not saying anything. There's not.
What's your beef? What's your beef, Josh? Thesis statement.
I think everybody overhypes it.
What don't you like?
What I don't like?
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that it's so fucking difficult. It's up there with Dark Souls. Yes, I know they're difficult games, guys. I know I'm a shitty gamer.
You are.
But if I can't completely, and I'm playing this with Nick, by the way, playing it hardcore.
We never beat it.
We never beat it. I haven't gone back to it. I tried, and I just couldn't because we and Nick got so far, and I did not feel like going through that whole fucking map again. I was so pissed that I had to restart. I was like, there's no fucking... This game is just... I mean, fuck. Even the Mosquito Knights, I think is what they're called. The fucking ones where you fight all 3 or 4 of them, and then if you win, they give you some item. I can't.
So you want to punish this game because you're bad.
I want them to... No, I don't want to punish them because it's bad. I just think that they made a very difficult game. And I think the only reason it's so popular is because people just would not get off its dick. It's a good game. It's not that good of a game. I'm going to pick... Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
It's an indie sweetheart. Josh is the kind of guy, he sees the girl next door and he's like, she's not hot. That bitch.
She's not hot.
It's
There's
an
a reason
indie,
why she's the girl next door.
It's an indie sweetheart. You'd be lucky to get the girl next door. You'd be lucky.
Okay, I will give you the A. If
Okay.
you want to give it an S, give it the S. But I'm not guaranteeing on my end an S. I want to give it an A.
Hollow Knight in the A. Hollow Knight in the A. Dead Cells to finish up.
Okay, so definitely not a Metroidvania.
No.
Very, very roguelike. However, Nick, you got to review the Castlevania DLC.
A year and a half ago now. It's kind of crazy. This is not a Metroidvania. Even with the Castlevania add-on, this is roguelike through and through.
Like all the way. Like I'm trying to think of all that I've played in it. There's nothing that makes it a Metroidvania, right?
Does this have Metroidvania tag on Steam?
It does.
Who the fuck? Just because. Oh my God, I hate stupid people. This is not a Metroidvania, guys.
No.
It's a good game. It's a fun game.
It's roguelike. It is roguelike 100%.
I love Hades and Dead Cells as much as the next guy, but this is going in the F tier.
This is where I get very confused because people just start. We're gonna throw like Dead Cells had it. Hades had it on there. The Metroidvania, and I'm like, in what aspect are we talking about here? Because I'm clearly not understanding anymore because it's changed so much.
They're talking about it from a progress standpoint, a progress and a 2D platformer standpoint. But that's not, that's a roguelike. It's a roguelike, guys.
Roguelike 100%.
It's a roguelike. And again, there are a few other games on here that we could point at and be like, actually, that's a Souls-like. Actually, that's a roguelike. But no, this is Dead Cells. There's no, like, if there is a circle for Metroidvanias and a circle for Dead Cells, those circles are not touching.
No,
they're not crossing
at the borders at best.
There's no Venn diagram. Nope, nothing.
Tips.
It may have similarities. It may have Castlevania characters in it. Guys, it's not a Metroidvania.
It's not.
So we did it. We did our last tier list for hopefully forever.
No, we've been cursed. We'll be doing it every week now.
There will be more. So in the S tier, we've got one last recap for you guys. In the S tier, we've got Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown and Bloodstained. In the A tier, we've got Infernax, Carry On, Blasphemous, Batman: Arkham Asylum, Ori and the Blind Forest, and Hollow Knight, not including Silksong. Sorry. In B, we've got Guacamelee. In C, we've got Axiom Verge and Ultros, and Shadow Complex and Strider. And then in D, we've got 9 Years of Shadow, Moonscars, and Eldoran. And in the F, we've got Frontier Hunter, After Image, and Dead Cells, because it is not a Metroidvania. It's not. It's a good game. It's a fun game. It's not a Metroidvania.
It's not a Metroidvania. No.
We did it. We reached the end of the episode. We did it.
No more Metroidvanias at all. No Metroids, no castles.
No tears. None. No more
no
tears.
No.
That's the name of the episode. No more tears.
No more tears.
No more tears.
I love it.
I love it. We did it. Hey, everyone, you can find me on Twitter at That Kaufman. You can also find me on Twitch and YouTube at NickFatKnight. Again, I'm streaming on Tuesdays now. Right now, we're going through Iron Harvest and Soma. Hopefully, by the time you hear this, I am done with one of those games. Probably going to be Soma, because I think I'm near the end. Josh, where can the people find you?
You can find me anywhere and everywhere. I'm Josh Saying.
Oh, God, he added a little ring. I'm just saying. Awesome.
Gonna get more and more dramatic each time now.
Awesome. So awesome, Josh. You can find Smashing Game Time. We have smashinggametime.com. We have the podcast on there. We've also got articles. I've got my Firewatch article going up any day now, so keep an eye out for that. I am also contribute to Hard Drive, so I've got pieces going up over there. By the time you hear this, I should have an interview up with Heather Ann Campbell, the amazing writer over at Rick and Morty. She's also got her own podcast called Get Played, where she talks about games her and her co-host are playing. Go check out that interview. It was a really fun interview to do. We talk more about Rick and Morty and One Punch Man than we do anything else. But it's a fun interview.
You know
and physical media.
Man?
Huh?
You know One Punch Man?
I know one. She is doing the rewrite on the adaptation of One Punch Man with Dan Harmon.
Oh, that's cool.
So I got to talk with her a little bit about adaptation and what makes good ones and what makes Dragon Ball Evolution happen. Oof.
Oof. Good luck
Piccolo
with
wasn't even
that.
Namek in that. What else? And Josh and I both write for Game Chronicles. The site is going under next May, so support as much as you can. Go read those reviews. A bunch of writers are looking for new homes, us included. So keep us in mind. And as always, you can find Smashing Game Time anywhere you get your podcast: Apple, Spotify, YouTube Podcast, YouTube proper, where you can see Josh's wonderful face. He's not holding a puppy anymore, so nobody cares.
Yeah, I'm useless without the puppy.
Without the puppy. Anything else you want to plug, Josh?
No, I think that's it for the night.
That's it. Hey, we're getting out of here, everybody. This has been Smashing Game Time. I hope you all had a smashing great time. We'll see each and every one of you next time.